You think you know what goes on in a quiet suburban neighborhood, right? Well, this story peels back that facade. We're talking about a secret affair, a fetish website used as a deadly lure, and a horrifying double murder. This is the unraveling of Brendan Banfield. But before the whole twisted truth came out, there was the lie. The first story everyone heard wasn't about a cold-blooded murder plot, it was about a hero. Let's look at the official story Brendan Banfield wanted everyone, especially the police, to believe. So, picture this. The morning of February 24th, 2023. A frantic 911 call comes in. On the other end is Brendan Banfield, an IRS agent who claims he was just forced to shoot and kill an intruder who had violently stabbed his wife. He's the hero husband defending his home. When the police arrived, the scene was just pure chaos. And the families live in au pair. Juliana Perez Magalhaes, she backed up every single word. She told them this stranger just appeared out of nowhere, launched a sudden, brutal attack on Christine Banfield, and that Brenden had no choice but to shoot the guy. On the surface, the story seemed solid. But you know how these things go. As detectives started to really comb through the scene and the story, that perfect heroic narrative, it started to come apart at the seams. The pieces just weren't fitting together. Okay, so look at this. On one side, you have the official story, total chaos, a random attack. But on the other side, you've got these glaring red flags. First, investigators found zero signs of a forced entry. None. Then, the timeline of events felt way too perfect, almost staged. And the biggest red flag of all, they found out Brendan Banfield was having a secret affair with the one person who was confirming his entire story, the au pair. And that discovery changed everything. The investigation took a sharp turn. Months later, the au pair, Juliana, was arrested. And once she was totally separated from Banfield, well, she flipped. She confessed everything, revealing a murder plot that was so much more calculated and twisted than anyone imagined. And you can hear it right here in her own words. She said the weight of it all, the shame, the guilt, the sadness, it just became too much to carry. So, facing a murder charge herself, she started talking to prosecutors, and the horrifying truth of what really happened that morning came spilling out. So you're probably asking the same question the investigators were. Why not just get a divorce? I mean, why go to these insane lengths? Well, according to the prosecution, Banfield told the au pair that divorce was, and I quote, not an option. He didn't want to share custody of his daughter, and he definitely didn't want to split his assets. He wanted his wife gone for good. And the plan she confessed to is just bone-chilling. Let's walk through it. First, she says they created a fake profile for his wife, Christine, on a fetish website. Then, they found their scapegoat, a guy named Joseph Ryan, and lured him to the house by promising a violent role-play fantasy. On the day of the murders, Banfield faked leaving for work, but then circled back as soon as the au pair gave the signal that Ryan was there. What happened next wasn't a heroic defense. It was a brutal, planned execution of two people, and it ended with Banfield allegedly realizing Ryan was still alive and ordering the au pair to finish him. Wow. Okay, so a shocking confession is one thing, but prosecutors knew they needed hard evidence to back it up. So let's dive into the damning proof that completely blew Banfield's story apart. Get this. After the murders, while the au pair was in jail, Banfield wrote her love letters. In one of them, he wrote, "You came here and we fell in love." I mean, that one line tells you everything about the true depth of their relationship. It's a far cry from the simple employer-employee story he was pushing at the beginning. And yet, when he gets on the stand in court, what does he say? He completely downplays it. He testified the affair was not a relationship and not serious. This massive contradiction between what he wrote in private and what he said in public, it just destroyed his credibility. This timeline really helps put it all in perspective. The affair starts in August 2022. Just 6 months later, bam, Christine and Joseph Ryan are murdered. By April, just 2 months after that, police are suspicious enough to go back to the house for a second, harder look. And by October, the key witness and his lover is arrested and ready to talk. So what did the police find on that second visit to the house, just 2 months after the murders? It's deeply unsettling. The au pair's clothes were now in the dead wife's closet. Her lingerie was in the master bedroom. The photos of Christine and Brenden had been swapped out for photos of Juliana and Brenden. It was like Christine Banfield was being systematically erased from her own life, from her own home. So you have the au pair's detailed testimony and a mountain of evidence to back it up. The whole case goes to the jury. And now the big question is, who are they going to believe? The so-called heroic husband or the story of a twisted, deadly plot? The jury looked at everything: the love letters, the crime scene, what the police found in the house, and of course, that chilling confession from the au pair. Their decision was swift, and it was unanimous: guilty. And not just on one count. Brendan Banfield was found guilty on all of them. 2 counts of aggravated murder for killing his wife Christine and for killing Joseph Ryan, guilty on use of a firearm, and guilty on child endangerment because, yes, his young daughter was actually in the house when this whole horrific thing went down. It's just an unbelievable story that started with a lie about a hero and ended with a horrifying truth about obsession and a meticulously planned digital murder plot. It really makes you stop and think. How well can you ever really know the people living right there, under your own roof?